Hey everybody, Renfell here, and if you remember about a week ago, those of you who are subscribers here on the channel, I talked about this game Coyote Crow. It is a tabletop RPG that has been out for a little bit. It's sort of a new arrival in the scene, and Dicebreaker had an article where they had this game listed in this group of our tabletop RPGs that people should probably try out in 2023. That list had a few things that interested me, some things that weren't that interesting. This was one of the ones. I think this was the number one, actually, game from that list that I went, I want to dig into this more. And I told everybody at the time that I was going to go away, do some R&D, and then come back to you with a video. And that's the one we're doing today. So for those of you who are returning visitors, the time is here. Your patience is being rewarded. And if you're new, this is the perfect opportunity to say, like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss an update as I cover this game and many other games and all the other things that I do here on YouTube. Check out all the playlists so you know exactly what I get into here on this channel. And we'll talk at the end about ways you can support. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and sink our teeth into this. So essentially, I found a really good description of this over on their website. Um, it's for the novel, and we'll get back to this later, but this is the description that I like. It says, so the world of Coyote and Crow is an alternate history science fantasy where colonization of the Americas never happened. Instead, after a climate disaster alters the course of history around the world, advanced civilizations develop over centuries, fueled by indigenous knowledge, culture, and determination, and powered by the mysterious Adanadi that arrived in the wake of the disaster. And hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I don't know if it's Adanadi or Adanadi. Um, in any case, it's a science fantasy setting. It says here a new near future where the Americas were never colonized. It's created by a team of natives, um, so it's got all the cultural influence that you would want in a setting like this. Because who better to create it than, as they say, the natives who are working on this? And I believe I'm going to go back here and look somewhere on the website, and I've been digging through it, but I believe, yeah, here it says the game was designed by Connor Alexander, who's from the Cherokee Nation, with development from. Well, this is for the dice game, but that's the. Anyway, I don't want to get sidetracked. That's the guy who put it all together, Connor Alexander, right? So let's dive into the Kickstarter a little bit. So apparently this was fully funded on April 1st of 2021. 16,269 backers pledged a little over $1 million to this project, which is pretty freaking amazing for them to have gotten that much support for this project. And then the last update was from September of 2022. Is that when it launched? Launch day. That apparently was when it launched. September 13th. Okay. Oh, they have a brand new project as well, it says. Next campaign is a go. Oh, I didn't realize they ran another Kickstarter campaign. Oh, our crowdfunding for Stories of the Freelance was a huge success, and we raised more than $150,000. So that must be the one they're talking about here. That's really cool. So they started off with this one though, which is for their core rule book and all the information. So I want to dig into this because one of the things that struck me right away, above and beyond the story, was I really liked the art style. Like I really, really, really liked the art style, especially the cover for this novel, which I totally want to go pick up and read now. Because I mean, it's a tabletop game. It'd be cool to get into the setting. But if you've been around my channel for any length of time, you know that for me, one of my favorite games and settings of all time was Dragonlance. Why? Because they had novels that I could read. Fantasy, Forgotten Realms, a little bit as well, but I really liked Dragonlance because they had novels that explored the world. And so this is what originally, when I was looking through their website during that other video, I immediately locked on to the fact that it was Nebula. Nominated, and they had a novel associated with it as well, and I went, oh my god, like those things are all the perfect combination of elements that are something that get me interested and get my juices salivating. Because I love good fiction, I love good books, I love good stories altogether, and this one sounds pretty incredible. The art style was also something I really, really appreciated. So it says here, Coyote Crow is a tabletop role-playing game set in an alternate future of the Americas where colonization never occurred. Oh, this is the same one I just read. It says here, you'll play as adventurers starting out in the city of Cahokia, or is it Cahokia? A bustling, diverse metropolis along the Mississippi River. It's a world of science and spirituality where the future of technology and legends of the past will collide. The game is created and led by a team of Native Americans representing more than a dozen tribes, and we've built a game that both natives and non-natives will thrill to explore. I think it would be will be thrilled to explore and build upon. Ah, this is awesome. More than 700 years ago, a bright purple streak shot through the night sky. Over the coming weeks, the earth fell into a deep winter. The seas raged and ash rained from the sky. The event became known as the Awis. As resources dwindled, winter became longer and summer shorter, people struggling to survive. Wars erupted, people starved, some fleeing their ancestral homes before creeping ice sheets. But people did survive. Tribes adapted, and in the wake, people began to notice a strange purple mark appearing on people, plants, and animals alike. It became known as the Adanadi, the gift, and many took it as a sign that the Great Spirit had not given up on them. Eventually, the weather began to ease, the earth began to heal, and new nations arose. New sciences and technologies, born out of necessity, led to a discovery about the Adanadi. It wasn't just a mark, it was a path to abilities and powers beyond normal human limits. This sounds so cool. Now, 700 years after the world was brought to the brink, a new chapter has begun. Your characters enter a world that is healing, but no less dangerous. The ice sheets are retreating, and the seas are calming, but what lays out beyond your borders? The treaties and alliances that made so much sense during the long winters are now eroding, and old grudges between nations are not so easily forgotten. New technologies arise almost every day, and the rate of change is frightening for some. And then there are the stories. Talk of spirits, monsters, and being of legends. For so many, they were just tales to be told around the fire, but now there is talk that these legends may be far more literal than you may have previously believed. Has something awakened them? Oh, all right. It says it uses the D12 system, sort of D12 system. It says it's an original role-playing system, so it's their own unique rule set built around the exclusive use of D12. Outside of the core rulebook, all you'll need to play the game is a pencil and paper and some 12-sided die. While there is some complexity to the game, we are striving to present a system that will allow players to refer to the rulebook during play as little as possible, keeping most of or all of the critical information on your character sheet. So we've got our basic stats: strength, agility, endurance, intelligence, perception, wisdom, spirit, charisma, and will. Some general skills and general knowledge information here. Basic rule system is centered around collecting a dice pool. Yields you around 5 to 7 d12s, rolling them to determine either success or failure and degree of effect. Okay. The more 8s, the more successfuls. Okay. Combat is only one way, or one road, to story resolution. The game encourages dialogue, building bridges, and finding unique solutions to problems that are not always clearly defined by good and evil. So you've also got 15 paths. In addition, you'll have an archetype. There's gifts and burdens, which are bonuses. So pros and cons, bonuses and drawbacks. Very cool. No experience points. Oh, I love it. I love games that don't have experience points. It said there's a legend system where your character has short-term goals which are increase various numbers on your character sheet or give them new skills, but in your group also have a long-term goal. And when these are completed, your legend grows. You write a short story about your adventure, the kind that can be told around the fire for generations to come. These can change your gifts and burdens, giving you access to new abilities and more. And as you complete more long-term goals, your character's legend precedes them, and your stories will spread. Oh, cool. So these are the archetypes. Okay. Warrior, Tinkerer, Scout. Paths are addition to archetypes, which are permanent associations that they make with an animal and help define extra human abilities they'll be able to choose from. The path of the beaver, the path of the stag, the path of the spider. Mm, cool. So I'm really interested in learning more about this now. Obviously, it started off as a Kickstarter. They've got an exclusive Roll20 adventure as well. They did another Kickstarter for Stories of the Freelands, which I guess is this. Let's read more on this here. That's placeholder art. Here's the upcoming campaign. Let's go check out that campaign as well. This one raised $172,000 from 2,400 people. And this was an expansion. So this is a module essentially. Dun, dun, dun. I'm reading here. They got a story guide screen. Oh, this is they launched or gave early access to their dice game, which is listed on their website as well. So, what is the stories of the Freeland? Stories would be our next focus, and not just one or two, but 10. And while these stories are mostly centered around the city of Kaukia and the surrounding freelands, we thought it was important to have as many voices and visions as possible. We have 10 different Indigenous authors paired up with 10 different artists, so each story feels fresh and different. That's really cool. Stories are broken into 2 volumes, each feature 5 stories. Okay, awesome. Okay. Oh, so here they've got the artist and the writer for each um, volume 1 story. Oh, look at that artwork. I like this one of this guy with the white streaks in his hair. That's really cool. And he's holding up the tablet thing with a cane. Very cool. Volume 2. Oh, this is so awesome. Yeah, I like these. I like this middle one here with the auction thing in the background and this group of adventurers hunkered down behind a wall right here. Ooh, I like the fishnet one too. Really cool. Each story is formatted as individual PDFs with a structure that walks story guides through the whole thing from beginning to end. Each story includes a piece of opening fiction, a cultural acknowledgement, story background, a scene breakdown, NPC summary, and common knowledge information. A full story, including skill checks, dialogue, and descriptions. So this is just a really cool module with all the information you would need to continue your adventure, which is really awesome. So I would highly urge you to go over and check this out. I'm going to be starting with the novel. I don't know exactly when. Chris and I have a lot of things going on right now, but I do want to read this. And then beyond this, as soon as I get some time, this will probably be the next thing I try. I'm in the middle of my Starfinder thing right now. I don't know if I'm going to be doing Pathfinder after Starfinder, but somewhere in there, this will either be the next project to sink my teeth into or the project after that. But at some point, I'm going to be diving into this tabletop game more, and I'll definitely pick up the book and get a review out on my channel here for this book. But I would urge you to go over to their website. You can go over, it's coyoteandcrow.net. I'll have a link down below for all the information for those of you who want to go check it out at your leisure. Highly recommend checking it out. I find it super interesting. I'm looking forward to learning more about the world and the system and everything else. If you know more about this, please drop that information down in the comments below. Let's talk about it. Give me more information about this. Give everybody else watching more information about this. Looks good so far. If you've gotten to the end and you like all of this, you like the presentation style, you like my channel and the other things that you've seen here, support. It's really easy. You can start with that like, subscribe, and bell icon stuff that everyone knows about with every channel. But beyond that, we have memberships here on the channel, super chats, super stickers on live streams, super thanks on uploaded videos. More importantly, if you want to get into the tabletop world of the Weave in the Void, which is the world that I've built with my wife and my brother, it's a fantasy world. You can check that out over at our Patreon page, or you can get a standalone copy of that over at weaveandvoid.com. We also have a point-and-click adventure game set in that same world, as well as a book series, which is published in serialized format through the Patreon. And you can check all that stuff out at your leisure. We have a Discord channel. All the links are down there. Until next time, everybody, stay safe and happy gaming.